Hello and welcome to my channel. In my last video I measured the power consumption and performance of different CPUs. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. In this table you can see two values in most of the cells. The energy consumption can be seen in the bottom line, and the performance while generating a timetable is in the top line. But it is worth buying a new computer. If the current computer is fast enough, then it might not be worth it. If it is too slow, then the new computer should be at least 20% faster, or better 2 times faster. And in best case, with lower power consumption. Let's compare my old computer with my new one. Was it worth upgrading my AMD Athlon with an Raspberry Pi 5? Both computers are fast enough to write letters or emails. The default office tasks are fast enough on both. Although the CPU of the Pi is clocked slower, the Pi is generating timetables 3 times faster. I don't have any applications that are using up the graphics card. Both are way too fast for me. The memory size is the same, and it is enough for me. The Pi has a little faster memory, but I don't notice it. The storage size is the same. The storage of the Pi is a bit slower, but I also don't notice that while doing my daily work in the office. The Pi5 uses around 90% less electricity, so there are two good qualities. The Pi generates timetables faster and uses less electricity. But how expensive is it to buy it? If I'm forced to save money and if I can use all devices, then I only need to pay around 80 euros for the 4 GB Pi with a case. Using an old power supply of a smartphone with 3 amperes and also using an old keyboard, old mouse and an old USB stick. The video cable may be critical since it needs a micro HDMI connector, but I recommend the 8 GB version. And you might also buy other devices. The storage is a bit critical with the Pi, since the microSD card is not recommended for critical data. You should at least back up on a USB stick. That is why I added 10 euros for the SD card and 10 euros for the USB stick. But a solid state disk, a network attached storage or a cloud solution is of course better for professional usage. So I need around 160 euros or even more. How long does it take to save this money by reducing power consumption? Let's assume the computer is running for a whole year when it is almost idle, like computers that are used for smart home, Pi-hole or other light tasks. The energy, or work, is calculated by the power multiplied by the time, and the cost is calculated by multiplying the energy by the weight. In this video I will take a rate of 40 cents per kilowatt hour. Your rate might be much lower or higher, so you might need to modify that value. In my case, the Athlon is consuming around 400 kilowatt hours of energy, so I need to pay around 160 euros, while the Pi5 is consuming only around 35 kilowatt hours, so around 14 euros. As already expected, the value is around 90% lower. So after just 1 year, I already saved the initial cost value by energy cost. And if the computer is running at full load all the time, in that case I will have already saved around 270 euro after just 1 year. So if I generate timetables all day, then this saves a lot of money, especially because the Pi also generates more results at the same time. But in fact, that is not a realistic use case for an office computer. There may be 200 days of work at school. Let's assume the computer is running 8 hours per day in idle mode, writing documents, sending emails, and doing the substitution table are nearly idle for the computer. Of course, you sometimes need a bit more power. But on the other hand, 8 hours per day is already rounded up. For generating timetables, I estimate 10 full days with 24 hours. I don't edit costs for standby mode, since I'm using a power bar with a switch. Calculating the cost of this office computer results in around €38 per year for the Athlon and around $350 for the Pi. You might wonder why I didn't set only 3 days with the Pi, since it is more powerful. Well, I guess most guys that do the timetable will spend the same time generating timetables, but just do better timetables for teachers and students now. So I save only around €35 per year. That means it will take 2 to 5 years to recoup the initial cost. But on the other hand, I also got better timetables, since the Pi is faster. Is it worth it to buy the Pi? At home, for coding, I'm using a more powerful computer. In fact, most office tasks are fast enough on my old Intel 4460. But if I'm generating timetables or compiling source code, then I notice that my Ryzen is nearly 4 times faster. The GPU, on the other hand, is nearly doing nothing all the day. I don't need a fast one. The memory and the storage are much faster on my Ryzen. I can measure that with a synthetic benchmark, but it's impossible for me to feel that speed up while doing my daily work. The energy usage is lower while idle, but higher with the full workload. The initial cost is around €400. Calculating the energy cost for the everyday office at school, like with the Pi5, gives this results. The Intel 4460, which is as fast as the Pi5, costs around €30, but the Ryzen costs only around €21. This saves only €8 per year. It takes around 50 years to recoup the cost. It doesn't make sense to buy the new computer to save money. It is only useful if I'm able to use the extra power of this CPU. And as I said, I can clearly notice the power while compiling and generating timetables, but I can't notice it with the other tasks. So don't throw away old computers. They are still fine for you or other guys. Sell the old computer or give it away. Now it's your turn. Calculate if it makes sense to buy a new computer. Can you save money? Tell me your opinion in the comments. That's it for today. Have a nice day.